Hello everyone and welcome back, Heir of Carthage here, and yes, we are rolling in gold and also rolling over the Skaven, which leaves us in a pretty good place. That is, if you're a dwarf. Probably not so happy if you're a Skaven. Now, we do have need of more items from the Forge. Let's go ahead and jump into that before we forget. I've been making a ton of Old Guard and Iron Warden tankards. We know we have a new army that has at least 3 lords that need it, and I want to say that we had some that need more. We have a never-ending need of Oath Gold at this point. Like, despite the fact that I'm making ludicrous amounts of Oath Gold, we really can't have enough, because I could always use way more items and use it for an ever-increasing number of leaders. So it definitely leaves us in a position where, like I said, we almost can't have enough. I'm going to go in here to the Iron Warden tankard. It's also very useful. We're going to forge these up. I do wish that they had added a way for you to forge multiple items in one. Kind of like an order up thing, rather than having to click this every time. Let's see. Remember if that was 3 or 4. Probably 3. Let's do one more. Iron Warden's tank. Yeah, I think that was it, because I had 4,800 and I've now spent 4,000. All right, there we go. So that should be 4 of each. There we go. Let's head to our new army, which is being raised at Karak Izor, and let's get these guys outfitted properly. So we're gonna snag an Iron Warden tankard and an Old Guard tanker there. It does say we have a better armor, which is the Trickster's Helm, and that's true. It's certainly a pretty good armor. Let's scroll here to the end. That's, well, never mind. I thought that's where I'd find this guy. Or is it? Yeah, it is. Right here is his Thane. Let's grab, again, Old Guard, Iron Warden. There is a Shrieking Blade. Grab that. And there is Dragon Helm. Well, no, it says we got something better than the Dragon Helm. Let's take a look for that real quick. These always pop up in a strange order. Seems like I'm always having a hard time. Unequipped, really? Those are not unequipped. Those are definitely equipped. There it is, the Ironbeard's armor. Let's throw that one on. And then let's head to the next one. Iron Warden, Old Guard. And I don't know how much... Yeah, we really just don't have a lot of other equipment available. Again, which is why I was saying what I was just saying, which is that we can't possibly have enough Oath Gold at this point, because we just cannot catch up, I think, with the amount of leaders that we have. Let's start rolling through our armies again and kind of be checking for things. Oh, hang on. This guy has the Old Guard's tankard. He needs an Iron Warden tankard, which I believe I have right here. I do. All right. Let's keep moving through here again. I don't have all of these items on my legendary lords because some of them are carrying unique items that I am a little bit remiss to remove from them. We did just find this guy, though. So this is in Grombrendel's army. Let's grab him an Iron Warden tankard real quick. Let's go into the Forge, and here, and Iron Warden. All right, sweet. Or was I supposed to get Old Guard and I got the wrong one? I don't know. That is quite possible. I tend to do things like that. Here we go. So, back into the details. It was this guy here. Nope, we needed the Iron Warden. I got it right for once. Probably only once, but we did get it right. All right, now we just need to keep collecting Oath Gold. We're up to 1,500 Oath Gold per turn, so that's going to be 3 500 cost forge items, effectively, that we can get every turn. And I wish it was faster than that. Now, of course, if you had put more effort in the beginning of the campaign onto Oath Gold, which I could have done, I would have had substantially more, right? Because we would have been earning it for substantially more turns. It took me quite a long time to put any focus on it. I had put most of my focus on just earning regular gold, keeping up armies, and obviously the reason for that was probably well known to everybody who was watching. But at the same time, like, you know, there's a price to pay, and I paid some of that price. By not having done that stuff early. Let's go with some Iron Breakers, and let's get some, and I do want a Thunder Barge. I mean, heck, I want a couple of Thunder Barges. because I love them. Let's get some artillery. So we're going to get some stuff in the works for this army. Then again, though, should I be using Thunder Barges against the Skaven? They are useful in the sense that they can garner a lot of attention from the Skaven firepower. They are vulnerable to the Skaven firepower, but like I said, they are kind of good at distracting it and making it easy to get at other things that you need to, or keep them from shooting other things that they should be. Let's go ahead and go hit the Black Pillar here. This is a lot of very habitable provinces for us, which is just going to make us incredibly wealthy beyond what we already are, which is a lot. Like a lot of a lot. Tear that down and build something more appropriate. Let's go keep checking out all of our lords need to move. Oldest needs to go after the Slaanesh champion. So I'm going to start moving that direction. Ungrim, we decided, was going to keep his Slayer-themed army. However, you all may have noticed that this is not entirely a Slayer army. And I guess we could do something like that, but I do like having some options. Now, that said, a warrior with great weapon and hammers don't exactly fit the mold here. I mean, we could do something else. But again, I do like the Slayer theme here. Maybe we should get some Slayer pirates or something. It would make this army potentially weaker, but it would give it like a little bit of gun capability that would kind of be fun and still fit the Slayer theme. But let's do it just for fun. Well, hang on a minute, actually. Because I may not be able to recruit those units locally, and the global recruitment queue is quite full. Let's wait until the global recruitment queue isn't as full, because I just about made a mistake there, because I wouldn't have been able to replace those units in a feasible or a reasonable amount of time. So that was just about another big boo-boo on my part. But like I said, I never make mistakes like that. No one can prove it. There's not thousands of videos showing it. So say what you will. You can never prove anything. Okay, maybe a little. Maybe a lot. Who knows? There we go. Let's keep finishing up our skill trees. Woundmaker. Blade Shield. Or hang on, was Mentor available? It was not. All right, let's go Blade Shield, Woundmaker. Mentor, of course, a really good one as we have all these new characters. We want to be sharing. We want to be sharing all that over to the new characters, so we don't have to wait as long for them to level up, and they can be relevant as quickly as possible. And we've always got the skill points here. Let's go with Morgrim's Favored, Dawi Firepower, and more skill points. Hand-loaded ballistics calibration. Requisition. Loaded. All right, sweet. So we got through those. Let's just continue moving whatever lords we need to. Really no move for Ungrim to make. If the ogres do move against me, and I do expect they will, I just need to be in a good position with Ungrim. And with Silver Pinnacle, we are rebuilding that building. It's going to be a number of turns before it's available, so I'll just kind of keep bouncing around here, see what happens. We don't know. Belagar is just waiting on his fellow army and the reinforcements that are now being trained. This is probably something we should replace at the Monolith. I think we can do better there. We're going to want defenses here, and we probably want to take advantage of the Obsidian there as well. And then let's build up some of these places again. We're sitting on a tremendous amount of money at this point, so we might as well put it to work for us in pretty much any way that we need to. And we can be building at basically every settlement at this point. Or we don't need a growth building anymore. That'd be somewhat pointless. All right, Karak Hearn. So this is another one. We can start the upgrade to tier 5. That's in the Black Mountains. Not somewhere I've been frequenting recently, but never know. That might come in handy. I am missing some defensive buildings here, but we got a decent infrastructure there for recruiting.
What do you want?
These armies have actually replenned quite nice. Let's move back up to the edge of our territory real quick. There we go. Because we'll be able to finish replenishing, and then this army will be ready. It's going to be a number of turns still, but I might go do some scouting with my two replenished armies, we can go ahead and improve Death Gorge there. And let's take a look at our commandments. Karak 8 Peaks needs a commandment, and we'll give it the Empower the Guilds. And let's end this turn. Alright, so they discovered another Undercity. This is at Mount Arachnos. Now, there's agents spread out for the Skaven all over the place. Dadgum, this one was huge. So we'll get rid of that. That was enormous. Ambusher discovered? Where the heck is Lokir? Okay. This is something coming from our allies over there. We discovered Malekith, destroyed the Undercity. Clan Moors is somehow still alive. I don't know where they're at. It's something that I would love to find out. I'm going to go ahead and finish the job here with Thorek before I head back north and finish off. Kairos has a few troops in behind me. Clearly, I'm not going to let that stand. That is definitely a grudging. I'm going to occupy this settlement for the turn in, and then I'm going to hand it over to the Croc, and then he'll have himself a nice little swath of territory here that he can call his own. There's one more way down here at Tor Serpendar. So we'll make sure that we rid this whole south area of Tzeentch. But again, this army is in behind me, unfortunately. They hit the Golden Tower rather successfully. I could try to repair this stuff and try and hold their attention here. If they do let me repair it, then they're just going to run into more challenges. Karak Zorn is extremely well fortified. And again, another one that we can upgrade all the way to tier 5. So let's make those upgrades because it'll make our walls substantially stronger. More upgrades underway. I'm going to save a little bit of cash here in case we need to do some recruiting, which we may need to do. Let's go take a look. I want to say that we had a couple of turns though before we were going to have any fruition. Yeah, we're still waiting on some fruits of that effort. Man, do I dare push into Clan Scryer territory, even with 2 full armies? I feel like there could be a lot more Skaven in here hiding than it presently looks like. I definitely want to keep my forces together. We don't need to join. Yep, just like that. That way we can kind of hopefully stay safe in numbers. The Skaven have spread some here, so we need to put an end to this as soon as we can. Let's go ahead and take a look. Malakai is able to move again, he having just captured some new territory. Thorgrim was discovered, and it looks like Malekith is moving to avoid Thorgrim, but I mean, the High King has to host the Witch King, right? I mean, you can't be coming this close and not come say hi and visit, so let's do that. All right, the battle against Malekith has begun. I'm going to target him with the Spear of Grungni. We did hit him, but he's a very tough customer. It did minimal damage, actually. It's probably the least damage I've seen from the Spear in quite a long time. I feel like I better start Thunder Burning out of here because Malekith is very angry and on rapid approach, so I'm going to sacrifice a few hit points to retreat a little. I've got my cannons opening fire on him. He is a rather large target, so hopefully we can hit him. I'm going to actually kind of Thunder Burn across here and try and open up more angles against Malekith. I am burning a decent number of hit points, though, and would like to cease this. There we go. So I'm going to come back in behind the line. I do have some Grudge Rakers ready to support Thorgrim, if indeed Malekith lands on him, as I kind of expect he will, though I also expect... No dragon attack. All right, well, the Grudge Rakers, nonetheless, should have an angle on him, as do the cannons. I am going to... Wow, Malekith is really holding out strong here. But I shouldn't be surprised. He is a very potent and capable operator. Let's go ahead and give some... There we go. I'm gonna give Malekith a little bit of Mark by Ulthar here. Cause him a little missile weakness. Can we finish him? Can we finish him? Ooh, he is tough. Dude is taking an absolute shellacking. All right, I just kind of locked up my front. Okay, Malekith is just about gone. I mean, he put up a whopper of a fight. Really quite incredible. Ooh, Thorgrim is getting trounced right now. Hold on, I gotta pause it. Thorgrim's getting wasted by crossbow fire. Not shocked, honestly. Let's see, if I go in... Oh, I do have some crossbows in range of the grape shot. Let's open fire. I'm going to try and pull Thorgrim back a little. I'm going to see if I can push some of my Grudge Rakers up. I countered the Raven Heralds. There are still some dark magic characters left here. I'm going to push forward and see whether I can get in range of some of those dark shards. In fact, I'm going to push the dark shards with my flyers because that'll keep them busy, if anything. All right, so it certainly puts me at some risk. I'm going to push these Grudge Rakers up here, and like I said, I'm going to put some pressure. Let's bring some reinforcements over here and finish this nonsense off. Bring Thorgrim back this way. Can I Grudge Rake these guys? Those two dark sorceresses flying around. I'm gonna actually try and Grudge Rake them. One of my cannons moved on out of here. Yeah, it went out of a defensive stance as soon as I had moved. Oh my gosh, boy, did we give them a major Grudge Raking there. Let's keep the pressure up here with our flyers. Oh yeah, working well, working well. One sorceress basically gone. Let's see if we can snipe that other one out of the sky real quick. Come on, get it, get it, get it, get it, get it. Yep, we got one. I want that sorceress dead, please. And she is skittering off the battlefield at high speed. I think we did get a hit there. Slowed it down slightly for a moment. Cannons are firing. We're losing range. Oh, there we go. Nailed it. All right, sweet. So we were able to finish things up there. I'm going to go ahead and wipe out a few of these dark shards real quick. They're just, you know, high priority targets. No reason not to give them some attention on the way out the door here. Get my Thunder Barge a few extra kills. Thunder Barge did well that time. Got a lot of kills. Seems like sometimes it does really well, and other times it's kind of unimpressive. It may be an armor thing or a unit spacing thing, or I'm not really sure what, but there we go. Okay, well, that was definitely a resounding victory. Man, Grudge Rakers are an interesting unit. They're really fun in terms of, I like their sound effects and the way they shoot and stuff like that. They are limited range. They're almost like a Trollhammer torpedo that is also good against infantry, but the price you pay is a harder to acquire like line of sight, right? So their line of sight is not as easy to get as if you had, say, like a Trollhammer torpedo, which can launch up and over. And a Trollhammer torpedo at this point I actually think has a little bit better range as well too, because they increased the range of the Trollhammer torpedoes in the recent changes to the game, which is welcome as well. I mean, I think they're a far more useful unit now, so that was definitely a, I think, appropriate and welcome change. I'm going to move up to Harganeth, and then Malakai can go ahead and move against Spite Reach now that we've cleared out Malekith from behind our lines. He came in from the sea, I believe. Very Druki-like there, coming in as a raider. So we're going to repair Spite Reach. I'm going to put in some growth there, and then we have access to Palace. Oh, do we not? We are just outside of range at Palace of Ruin. I'm gonna have to move in, and this army will start to, will go away at the end of that. So I think we will have time to get one more use out of that army, which means we have gotten some pretty decent use out of it. We could honestly probably use another army in this vicinity because we're gonna be coming up against a substantial number of Druki. So if we do get a good recruiting hub in the vicinity, might be something that we choose to take advantage of. Brindle and the rest of the armies over here, I am just sitting here wondering, where are the Skaven? What am I missing? Where are they located? Here, maybe? Yeah, it's gotta be. All right, we did get rid of one of their heroes. Gosh, it's gonna take me a while to get out of here. I'm gonna go force marching across here. Galbaraz has got to be maybe the last stronghold of the Skaven. If that's the case, we might want two armies to go that way, just in case we get there and there's a very unwelcome vermin surprise for us. Now that said, I've got 2 more armies in this vicinity that are kind of wasted now because these Skaven are gone. I don't have like a good underway passage, for instance. Oh, there is one over here. Interesting. That would be useful. Capture that underway passage. I didn't know they had that one that far east. Are there more potentially, and we just don't see them on the map? That seems like it's a potential as well. I don't know. It's a good question. I'm gonna have to go find out. Interesting. Interesting indeed. I mean, there were no more down here. That could have been useful. I say we go capture that underway, because then I might be able to move reinforcements. It won't be fast, but we would be closer to Slaanesh. Closer being the operative word there, not close. But Ungram is the army that I intend to stay and fight against the ogres with. But I mean, there's no reason why I couldn't use them to potentially get ready to go conquer that area for now. So let's move that way. Slaanesh already operating agents all the way over here, though. Interesting enough. So where could Gromby use the underway? Where is the closest? Okay, the closest entrance is at Karak 8 Peaks. Let's send Grombrindle there. And we do have some research when you get started. We have finished everything except for improved blast charges. And that is going to just be for minor units, which is why it was never something that was really important to me. But we will have finished all of the clans research, and then we can move on and start finishing all the guilds research. And it looks like oldest Dringer here is going to be able to kind of scrape ever closer to that scumball down here. And then we had another army up here. This one needs to replenish rather substantially before we fight against Nurgle, and the replenishment is poor at best in this vicinity. Let's see if we can build some facilities to improve that capability. It'll only take a turn to get a couple of those online, and hopefully be able to replenish there a lot quicker. I do say so. Again, I'm just going to kind of bounce back and forth here, see what happens. We got 6 more turns before this base structure that's supposed to trigger the vampires is finished. We have this army too, which again, I may just send this guy to an entrance, the underway, which we have that one, but I mean, I don't know, maybe, oh, we should go kill off this greenskin faction that's kind of pointlessly sitting up here. Might as well. Don't see any reason not to. Thorgrim picks him up some more skill points. This is level 49 for Thorgrim. So very near the end of his skill up journey here. He is quite a tank in melee. Doesn't have a lot, I mean, I say he doesn't have a lot of armor piercing. It's not majority armor piercing, but it's still 386 is still a lot of armor piercing. So he's definitely quite a unit in combat. However, of course, he's slow and not going to be able to easily escape stuff like you saw there with Malekith. He did take a bit of a beating. Most of that, though, due to the Druki crossbows. Malekith actually was not having that much success against him in melee. Now, Malekith, of course, not the toughest melee combatant, but he is a tough melee combatant, to say the least. So definitely a capable one. The Runes of Grimnir. Let's do some of this stuff for Thorak. And let's see his friends. We need to finish up Wrath and Ruin. Requisition. All right. I believe we are ready to end our turn. We have used our money. We have moved our armies. Here we go.
Shut your goal.
Well, well, well. Look who hasn't had enough of a beating yet. Well, I can provide. I'm not really sure why he chose to restart the epic beatdown program, but he decided to. I do have armies in the vicinity, so Zata and the Black will have to be taught a lesson. That's about all there is to that. Oh, look at this. Throg was near the settlement and decided to attack me as I was close. The auto resolve says that I'm going to win, but it says it's going to kill a whole bunch of my units. Yeah, I mean, that might be the case, because that is a ton of Marauder Berserkers here. And those are pretty capable units. There's a couple of Marauder champions as well. However, I do have tremendous amount of artillery, and I have the ability to really jack up his mammoths. I'm gonna try some of this and see how it goes. All right, I'm gonna go harass the enemy mammoths. I did put my army in a position to give me a lot of space and time to fire my artillery. The enemy deployed even further back than I thought they might, so I'm actually gonna back up just a little bit here too. My range isn't necessarily dependent on terrain, but I do kind of want to take maybe a position right about there. I should be able to do tremendous damage if I just stay away from those Marauder Horsemasters. I think we can nuke possibly all 3 of these mammoths. Throg will be a little bit different story because he can heal, but still, we should be able to have a huge impact here. Yeah, see how quickly that mammoth is berserked and damaged by my gyros. Not a surprise here. It's now singled out. I'm going to scoot up and get better accuracy here, because there just isn't a unit threatening me at the moment. Yep, there we go. And the mammoth should be basically done. It's routed. Need like one more shot maybe to finish it off. I'm going to take these 2 and assign it to the next mammoth. Let that one finish the one mammoth so we don't waste more ammunition. There we go. We don't want to be on fire at will with these gyros. We really need to use our ammunition well. All right, so 1 mammoth down, another one on the way. Our army is nearly finished moving. We have to keep an eye on those reinforcements coming in. Let's set up our main line, our leader out in front, and then I'm going to have the Iron Drakes behind him in order to pour some fire into there. And let's get some Slayers kind of set up on the flanks, like this. A couple of extra Slayers right there in the back. And get defensive stances set up. All right, we killed another mammoth. Let's target Throg. There's some Famir Bale Fiends that would be really fun targets to get rid of too, and they do count as large targets, so presumably we could KO them relatively quickly. There are more units coming onto the battlefield now, though, that can challenge my dominance of the airspace. Something to be aware of. I'll keep an eye out on their cone of fire, but I really want to douse Throg here because that will put a big damper on their leadership. They don't have frost worms, which can gonna work out very well for me. Someone go ahead and kill Throg for me, please. We are in range, and Throg has been not killed, which kind of sucks, but he has been removed from the fight. So now we need to get a hold of more targets. I'm sitting right outside of their range. Let's target this mammoth. Oof, just such an easy target to hit. I'm gonna stay backed up away from the missile threat that the Norskins can provide. I'm gonna try my best here to remove the biggest threats. The mammoths are certainly a big threat. And that's pretty much gotta be the end of that one. Now I would like to get those Famir out of the way. We're being chased a little bit by those horsemen there. Yeah, we're inside the arc of fire of one horseman. Go ahead and pull back a little bit here. I don't want to lose any gyros. Our arc of fire extends out about there. Could use some ammo on those horsemen, but I don't want to. I have a limited ammunition. I really want to take out those Bale Fiends before they have an impact on the fight. We are about to pull those horsemen into range of our artillery. Not the best artillery for potentially dealing with horsemen, but it's something to help keep them at bay at least a little bit. I'm gonna move over here where they'll have a harder time getting to me. Swing out around them. They're actually doing a pretty good job protecting those Bale Fiends now. But we did manage to kill some Marauder Horsemen there. A big number of Marauder Horsemen going down to our Grudge Throwers. That is actually fantastic for me. I'm I'm gonna go ahead and make a quick run at these Bale Fiends. I'm gonna try and get up over this rock formation and see if I can pour some fire down. I gotta watch out for this. Oh yes, good hit, good hit. Let's get off target here because we are in the line of fire now. Good hits. And our grudge throwers absolutely annihilated that Marauder Horseman. All right, so we fell back a little here. Let's turn around and put some more shots on that Bale Fiend. If we can get rid of a Bale Fiend before he can use any magic, that is just always a win. It looks like maybe only Malekith's Miasma as the only magic there, but still, let's get rid of what we can get rid of. He's headed into the woods. I'm gonna back up a bit. And when the infantry comes inside of range, we're gonna deal with that first. There should be some Bale Fiends coming out of the woods there here shortly. We've done very good work so far. Very good work so far. We do need to kill this Marauder Horseman. Bring my Quarrelers into position to challenge it. The AI is very dogged in their pursuit. They understand the threat that is my gyrocopters right now, which is cool to see. I'm glad they understand it. Maybe they don't understand it. Maybe it was just random in the attacks. I'm not 100% sure here, but I think it was not a terrible move. I'm gonna start spreading out some damage all over the Norskin line here because we have a lot of grudge thrower potential. I gotta watch out for those hunters. I really want to spot those leader units. I would love for them to already be dead. Oh boy, man, we are getting some big pain in here with our grudge throwers. This is not a small amount of damage that's being done here. Okay, there's another Bale Fiend just popped up. I'm gonna nuke that one. Then we're gonna go for the next one. Continue to watch out for missile threats to our gyros, but right now we have a fantastic shot at this Bale Fiend. I just need him to fire. Do it. Sink him. Put him out of his misery. Okay, some good hits. Let's back up. Give a little bit of space here. I cannot believe how much damage my grudge throwers are doing. It is not a small amount of damage. They are doing significant and substantial damage to the Norskin infantry, which is good. That is certainly an advantage that they have on me right now. But I do have several Longbeards with great weapons that are gonna put up a substantial fight. Okay, we've got one last Bale Fiend. I'm gonna put my leader out here even a little further because I really want to lure in the blob. I really want a blob on this guy. There we go. Bale Fiend down. So we didn't incur any magical damage. All right, these ice trolls are gonna be our next target. I am gonna target everything that we excel against with the gyros. And I feel like we have done tremendously good work so far. Let's hit those ice trolls. They are taking tremendous damage. Move to intercept. And let's finish off those trolls. Good hits. Yep. Iron Drake's doing a pretty good job. Let's back up a little further. Keep those safe. We might need them on the other flank. Honestly, I feel like we've pretty much got this in the bag at this point. We have done, I mean, just gargantuan damage with our grudge throwers. And remember, my gyrocopters still have bomb abilities. We killed all the ice trolls. We're not just gonna win this. I mean, we're gonna win this comfortably, it looks like at this point. Yeah, so way off on the auto-resolve presumptions there. Our grudge throwers were extraordinarily effective, as were our gyrocopters. Yeah, all of the targets that we took out with the gyrocopters were very dangerous melee combatants. So that's 3,200 gold value, 2,700, 2,700. I mean, that is tremendous amount of damage that we did. But I mean, all of the grudge throwers also packing up some big damage. And remember, they're going against relatively cheap targets. So it didn't take them long to capitalize. Same with that Iron Drake, man. Iron Drakes, at increased range, they might be a kind of a different unit. Wow, the replenishment actually applies there. I didn't figure that would actually work since this army is not supposed to replenish. But there we go. We do have a settlement besieged. That's going to be the Chaos Dwarves. Karak Vrag never got built up the way that I should have built it. So a mistake on my part. That should have been a defensible position by now. Let's see. I'm going to end up trespassing the ogres to do this. I mean, a fight with them is rather inevitable as it is anyway. I'm not sure that Hungrim's army is, again, fantastically suited for fighting Chaos Dwarves, but it is what it is. These are the ones that declared war on me. No, it's a different faction that declared war on me. Where are they at? Deeper in the mountains. Interesting. So we still have a faction of Chaos Dwarves out in front of them, which, honestly, I'm probably just going to kill them on the way in, because they're going to declare war on me one way or the other. So we're gonna give them the business on the way through here as well. And then this army just finished its refit, and I'm gonna be trespassing the ogres rather flagrantly, and I just don't care because we're going to be fighting them soon enough. And that means that I honestly could probably take this army, and instead of heading all the way back to the Silver Road, we should probably bounce back down this direction and get ready to come fill in the gap over here in the Shadowlands, because we're probably going to be needing that soon when the ogres re-attack us, which they almost certainly will. I'm going to move through here. We've gotten rid of most of the Tzeentch corruption. Let's hand Caverns of Sotek over. Our gift to the followers of the old ones here. There we go. All right, so Krotgar has kind of been reestablished thanks to us. Aren't we so nice? Aren't we such a good ally? Speaking of good, let's go ahead and wreck the Palace of Ruin. This army is pretty much toast after this turn, so we might as well get one last good use out of it. Put in some defenses there and some growth. All right, yeah. We are going to get spread a little more thin now with these two armies. We, like I said, probably need another army. I'm going to send Malakai to the north. If anything, we can kind of just hold tight with Thorgrim until we kind of clear through the north with our other army. So we may not really need reinforcements. Okay, I think my voice is back. The Skaven must have just hit it with a warp bomb or something. But there we go. Let's see. We'll start rebuilding everything we can here. So we're going to start getting the Road of Skulls built up. Boy, we are making some serious inroads against our enemies. We don't really want to move here at Volcano's Heart because we just need more replenishment before we go fight Nurgle's champion. And then this army should be able to kind of hop off here at Stormvrak Mount, top off the replenishment, and then attack Slaanesh's champion. So we should be done with that soon. And then Thorgrim. Like I said, we could sit here and kind of hold back the Druchii, because we are potentially going to expose a flank here. I'm surprised the High Elves haven't gotten a little more aggressive than they have. They don't seem to have started to consolidate any of their power. Let's go ahead and just move up to this point and kind of hold the Druchii on notice here. Okay, what else do we want to do? This territory here, we probably would benefit from improving its defensive capabilities, since we are not all that far from a potential front line here. And speaking of, in case we need to do any recruiting, I'm going to go ahead and start putting the facilities together there. Really kind of make something stronger there. And then a little further back, the Palace of Princes. And not super worried about this territory, but let's maybe go ahead and throw some effort there. Some medicinal plants that we hadn't taken advantage of yet. Okay, let's head back. Here's our garrison lord. We haven't moved.
How can I help?
Let's start swinging Gromby over this direction as well.
Enemy shall tremble.
I probably should have gone underground, but whatever. He's on the move.
Armed and ready.
Galbraz still well beyond our reach here. I'm gonna push up over here
Thirsts for war. We march.
where we won't take any attrition, and then we'll have to move probably underground over to Galbraz, which I assume is the last stronghold of Clan Moors.
Dragon Slayer.
Though I suppose it is possible that I am incorrect in that assumption. But I do believe that is the case. I'm just going to continue to improve this character's chances here on the map. So not a bad idea to just be getting rid of some of these scumbags. We had a really low chance there. And there. Just going to move up here. Because we can't really get either one of them. Lord not move. So Belagar. I do see a Feptik here. He's got 3 abominations. He's very much lacking in range, which will cost them big time. Some poison wind mortars. I'm gonna move into their territory. And I think I'm gonna go ahead and do it under an encamped stance rather than the underground, because the risk we run here though is that the Skaven can attack you and force an ambush. And that'll suck if that happens here. It'll suck bad. One of your best defenses against something like that would be to just take like a whole bunch of heroes and doom seekers, like stuff that they would absolutely suck at melee rushing. And then you could probably mitigate that. But then of course that army wouldn't be as effective at killing them, you know, in a nice big open pitched battle like you can with all the range stuff. So you kind of have to pick your poison there. I think we're done with building upgrades. We do have the command myth here. Let's do that. And in another turn. All right, we completed another Age of Reckoning. Let's enter the new age. We discovered multiple undercities. Let's deal with those. So we're gonna really cough up some cash here, so it's a good thing we're making so much. Death hits. What is that, 6,000 gold already? $9,000 gold. We had to sacrifice 12,000 gold to the Horn Rat. Wow. CA pleased. Would we be able to see if we had any other undercities? Oh, you can see it on the map. I'm hoping I didn't forget any. I can't remember whether you can see it on this screen or not. All right, well, let's get down to business. And speaking of undercities, the best way to get rid of the undercities is to get rid of the source itself. And I am working on that. Skaven agents, no doubt, see our approach, but I'm gonna try and leave them few options to do much about it. Send him over, Garrison Lord. So Malakai. Let's take Malakai. We failed on our assassination attempt. I didn't think we would actually get a chance on this turn. I'm gonna move up closer in the north here. Thorgrim has a target here, but there's also the Great Arena. Oh, multiple, I mean, many Black Arcs approaching our position. Many. I might just kind of hang out here for a minute and let Malakai kind of finish his thing up north. And we'll just see whether we can maybe hopefully get ourselves in an advantageous position here. Let's go ahead and build some defenses, improve the growth, take advantage of the wine resource. There we go. Get some kind of essential upgrades made with the money that we didn't have to spend at removing Skaven undercities. We'll just start building or going through all this research. Ulrika picks up a skill point right before the battle here, which may or may not prove super useful, but earthing is not a bad thing. In case we end up doing some overcasting. And let's take on the Slaaneshi champion. Certainly nothing bad will come of ridding ourselves of... Oh my gosh, that is so many keepers of keeper of secrets. Keepers of secrets? Is that the way I'd say it? Keepers of secrets. Maybe that's the way you say it. The auto-resolve says we're going to do good. I would love to just hit the auto-resolve and not have to mess with this, but I got a feeling y'all are going to be upset if I do, but I also have a feeling that if I don't auto-resolve, that I'm probably going to end up regretting it. So yeah, here we go. I'm going to start off by immediately spearing their leader. We got a really good hit there, and then we got some really good shots off over here too. So the enemy is going to have to go through this kind of odd formation here, which is going to bottleneck them right through my Air Force, providing me ample opportunity to weaken many of their units here. And I am looking forward to this. Now, Slaanesh, if anything, is extremely fast, but these are huge targets with almost no armor, and you almost can't miss. So our Thunder Parge is going to prove extremely useful here, like very useful against large, which is typically not. I'm gonna target again that hero. Our bombs though are not landing on the hero; they're hitting other units. And now here's the speed of Slaanesh on display as they just start to pull away rapidly. This is concerning indeed. Yikes! I'm gonna Thunderburn because there's no other risk. I'm gonna try and keep up as best as one can against Slaanesh. Slow these units down a little bit. Here comes some lashing. Their lord is almost dead. A lot of lashings going on. Again, that tells you that you're right up in a Slaanesh party when everybody's being lashed. All right, we killed the lead Keeper of Secrets. And whew, this is the part that's gonna hurt. But it looks like the Slaaneshi army is already falling apart. They were all speed and all looks, but instead of spending their money on decadent hosiery, the Keepers of Secrets might have better spent their money on some armor, and that is the secret that they should have learned here, which is armor is definitely more useful than leggings whenever you go into combat. So yeah, that's probably something that they might want to take into account for future battles, but you know, leave it to Slaanesh to suffer a little bit in that department, not knowing when and what to spend their clothing money on, or whether to wear clothes at all, for that matter. All right, now folks, surely I don't have to point out that when you have a name like Narcissum Portal Pleasure, I mean, it is a very Slaanesh name. It's a thing. We'll give it that. But I really don't recommend the idea of pleasuring portals, whatever that means. I just don't want to know. You know what? Every time I run into Slaanesh, it's just uncomfortable and odd. And I'm always glad when it's over. So there we go. We got rid of the Slaaneshi hero. That leaves just the filthy, vile Nurgle champion out there, which we should be able to kill soon enough. But I think I am going to be mostly out of time for this episode. I'm attempting to take the fight to the Chaos Dwarves. I'm kind of pushing as quickly as I can in that direction. They are sieging Karak Vlag. Would we win that fight? I should have looked on the last turn. Yes, we would. All right, well, let's just go ahead and get rid of these guys. They'll probably just bring another army over and finish the job, but, you know, yeah, like that right there. They were waiting on those guys for sure. But anyway, we'll see what happens next. But yeah, I think I'm good for this episode. Like I said, I'm gonna... actually, I can reach this cell. I'm gonna go ahead and just attack these guys. I'm gonna declare war here because I can. They are trade partners and thus conspirers with Zaten the Black and will be removed from the map for their trouble. They should not have sided against the firepower of a united Dawi front. That should have been quite obvious. Legendary battle unlocked. So We met the criteria for the organ gun kills, which means that we now have the dig in ability on our organ guns, which means they can shoot long range. And that is exciting. So we'll be able to use that dig in ability to massively increase the range. And they're going to be doing extra damage as well. So pretty much looking forward to this. So we're going to punch through these Chaos Dwarves and then on to Zatan's faction. And like I said, I expect a war from the Ogre soon, so I'm already moving in Grombrindle to answer the call. And then we've got this army as well. Let's just go ahead and start force marching it this way as well, so that I don't forget. And that should leave us in pretty good shape here. We do have another move that we need to make. Well, I've got multiple armies standing by in case war with the Ogres returns quickly, which it probably will, because I am going to be trespassing them rather heavily. Anyway, yeah, I'll pick it up here next time so that we have a little more time to decide what else we want to do. I'm seeing a lot of Clan Scryer, a concerning amount, in fact, because they're definitely going to have a big garrison as well. I will see you all next time. HeirofCarthage, signing out.